Welcome back to the Berg Podcast. Thanks for joining us today. With me today is Ford.
Hey, how's it going?
And it's the new year. We're in 2023. It always feels weird writing down the new year. Have you had any trouble with this yet?
You mean like when I have to throw away checks because I write the wrong year or something on them?
Yeah, exactly. Like we're making like journal entries and stuff into the accounting software. We're closing out December, and I'm posting things for like a year ago, basically, and of course, fortunately we've got some warnings built into there that's saying, hey, are you sure you want to do this? This doesn't look right. And,
I think it usually takes me at least half of a month to kind of deal with that because it's like you're signing your name on a document or something like that, and it just says put the date, and you just kind of like don't think through it, and you just put the 2-2 down or something like that. And it's amazing how it's just like those little things. I mean, it's been 12 months of something ingrained in your brain. Also, you're like, oh no, now it is legitimately the new year.
Well, it makes me realize too how few times I physically write the date down. Maybe that's just me, but I actually had to write it down. Today might have been the first time I actually wrote it, and I had to sort of pause for a second and be like, wait, that's not right. So,
well, we won't admit everything here, but I'll tell you that like I'm glad sometimes. Usually, a lot of times when I'm doing dates, it's the numbers.
Oh, yep.
And then there's times where I have to write it out, and I'm like, all right, like in my head, making sure I'm spelling it correctly. Because, I can get July and, June and July. That's not a problem. But we get to some of the other ones, like, I haven't written it out in the full word form in so long that it's easier just to do like whatever, 9922 versus actually writing out the words.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm getting too used to like spell check and things like that. I don't pay attention to it any longer.
Well, it gets me now because like autocorrect actually autocorrects to the wrong thing sometime, right? I'm like, wait, that's not what I'm trying to say. Stop fixing that.
Yeah, you're trying to be too smart for me.
And use initials for something or something that apparently isn't in iPhone's dictionary. And
iPhone is the worst of all of them, or like the texting one.
Yeah.
I did something the other day, and it wasn't. Sometimes like I don't know how to spell the word, but I'm like, if I get close, it'll give me some recommendations. And it sent me a recommendation that was like left field for sure. I'm just like, no, that's not it either.
You know what mine does a lot, and this one like really irritates me when I'm trying to use the word "were," and it's auto-correcting it to "we are," and I'm like, no, I don't need an apostrophe here. I know which one I'm trying to use. And it does it almost every time. I don't know how to stop it.
Well, I mean, I was writing that one document for the portal, and I sent it to all three of you guys to help me out with it because I'm like, all right, there's contextual issues. My wife always says I don't use commas correctly, like my run-on sentences and stuff like that. And I'm like, yeah, it's amazing how like some of these simplicities that they've tried to make easier for you have really made you less able to handle things. I was telling someone yesterday, my car has a like backup in case you hit something alert. And it like hits the brakes for you.
Oh, it actually applies the brakes.
Oh yes, like to the level you almost feel like you got bumped into something.
Wow.
Well, actually out here where I park, because you go downhill and then it flattens out, if I back out too fast, it'll actually apply the brakes on me because it thinks that I'm hitting.
It thinks you're going into something.
Yes.
Wow.
And it did it to me 3 days ago. I was backing out of the garage, and it registered the walls of the garage.
Like the edges of the
Yeah, so I'm backing out, and all of a sudden, like, it just jolts me. And I'm like, oh, crap. Like, did I actually miss something? Like, I looked in my mirrors, looked in the backup camera. Like, there's nothing there, but it's so smart that it's telling me that there's something in the way.
Yeah. It's interesting. So, mine doesn't do that, but I'm grateful that I do have the backup camera. I like the backup camera. And I got into one of my kids' cars, and my kids have reliable but not nice cars. And they don't have backup cameras.
They're first cars.
Yeah, well, it's perfect first cars, right? And I go to back up, and there's no backup camera. And for whatever reason, it struck me. I don't remember the last time I actually like I don't know how. My dad, when I was learning to drive, he was like, no, you turn the whole way around, right? Like, and it was right. It was a smart thing to do. It saved my tail a couple times, but I couldn't remember the last time I like completely turned around to look out the back window while I was backing up, and it was weird. I was like, oh, geez, this is.
I was riding with a nephew one day, and like, I kind of said to him, like, those things out there, they're not just to hit on other cars. They actually do something like mirror, like. At this point, people don't even use their mirrors because there's technology in the vehicles that show them things. But then you get in a vehicle that doesn't have it, and you're just like, so how do I do this now?
You gotta go back to the old school way of doing
Exactly.
it. It doesn't feel like it should be that old school, but I guess it is. I don't know.
Well, we grew up driving like tractors and bigger equipment, and all that stuff just had mirrors. Like they're not putting that in.
Oh yeah,
right. Now even the Tracos have like backup cameras in them to see the backside of the stuff. And like
Do they
before,
really?
yeah, in the old days, like you had to like spin part way, look, and then spin a little further. And now, literally, when you're driving, there'll be a little camera pop up on the screen that shows at least what's behind you.
Nice. Wait, they need like proximity sensors on the booms and stuff like that, right? Like that's the next thing,
Yes.
right? And maybe that exists already. I don't know.
I think that exists. There's ones that like exist that I've seen them. That if say you have a special attachment on, you can set the monitor so that the boom won't swing all the way in, because there's been times back in the day where like you'd get a unique attachment and maybe it was a little too long, but it would almost come up to the cab because of it being longer. So you can actually set some of those parameters on some of the newer machines to really do that, and it's changing things.
Yeah, I'm sure. I saw a tech demo a couple of months ago, and this company was presenting proximity sensors for people, so that they would actually issue like smart bands or something like that you could wear on your safety vest or like on your wrist or something like that. And basically, it was like a site network where everyone could sort of like a machine would know that if a person was inside of its turn radius because of the proximity sensors and the, whatever you were wearing. It actually sounded really smart. And then I'm kind of like, man, this feels like, I don't know, almost like chipping your kid, right? Right? Like people like, are you going to put like tracking sensors in your children? I guess maybe like with we track their cell phones.
Yeah, exactly.
but
well, like the animals you do,
yeah,
in case they run away.
The animals.
Exactly.
Yeah, but
well, I think that we, jumping down this road too far, but people's personal responsibility and also people understanding just the base knowledge of safety of large equipment, things like that. There has to, they're continuing to try and put out better ideas to make it safe, but at the same time, my concern, and I hope it gets better, but my concern is that people will get lax because they assume the system will take care of itself. And what do we know about all systems, all equipment?
Yeah, they'll all fail at some point.
Yes.
Right? Yeah.
And so nothing beats a set of eyes and a set of ears as far as knowing where you are and what you're doing.
Yeah, the one thing I did think of, and we've talked about this internally a little bit, is does something like that help with the experience curve? So folks in our team who've been in the industry for, I would say more than 3 to 5 years, they sort of, I think, have this built-in alertness when they're on site. They understand their surroundings a little bit better. They understand the hazards a little better. They know that they sort of have to watch out for themselves. Not everyone's watching for them. And what we found internally, at least, is some of our younger folks who have a little less experience and maybe have grown up in an environment where they don't have as much responsibility at the time. They aren't necessarily as aware. They have these little incidents, these little bumps sometimes, and this actually maybe helps accelerate the experience curve. But it also could, just like you're saying, create dependency.
Yeah. So. I mean, do those things do like do they have like vibrate if you're getting, like, does it alert the person that they're in, like, it's letting the piece of equipment know, but is it alerting the person that they're putting themselves in a situation that isn't safe?
It does. Yeah, it does. So I'm gonna, like, I don't know all the details. I saw a brief demo on it. It sounded interesting, but it does somehow alert that wearer that they're in a spot that could be hazardous. So,
well, I mean, we have to look at everything that's out there that, provides a benefit to the team. I don't think we're quite ready for that level yet, but it doesn't mean that it's not coming down the road. I mean, you see a lot of things that are happening on, different job sites, depending on the size of the job site, depending on the type of work and the client. There's anytime that they can try and make their site safer, they are always willing to pass that along to their contractors that are on the site.
Right. Yeah, for sure.
So no, I mean with the new year, I mean we had um, a learning year with some of the safety stuff with some of the new team members.
Yeah.
In general, we didn't have a lot of challenges, but we are always trying to improve. 0 is the only number that really is good, right? No matter
Right.
what the level of incidents are or any of that kind of stuff, 0 is the number that we're targeting for every year because it's means that no one no one had an issue, no one got hurt, and stuff happens. We're in a dangerous industry. There's no denying that. I mean, we pay insurance because we pay expensive insurance because we are in an industry where big equipment, big
Right.
things are happening, but
Yeah.
at the same time, we can still do it in a smart manner.
Yeah, I mean, insurance, it's like betting against the house, right? They're assuming something's going to go wrong, so they know that they're going to have a claim at some point, so they're making you pay for it for sure.
What the Christmas luncheon before the luncheon happened with the team, they had that safety video up about the guy that basically came back from the dead,
right?
And it's good to hear. It's challenging to hear just because it's kind of a downing, like, the story is really, what he's going through. But it's good to hear every once in a while just to kind of keep you fresh on your toes, even though it is like you're done it. You're like, shake off, because it really kind of makes you feel a little funny. But, you got to hear those stories just to remind yourself, as that kid said, he was macho man and he could do anything. And 1 minute and all of a sudden things changed on him.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. And, little things like taking a little bit of a shortcut, right? Doing something quick, even though you shouldn't, because you only expect to be in there for a minute in the trench or whatever. So yeah. So good reminders for sure. Yeah. So I thought we didn't really talk about post event. We talked a little bit about the policy that we rolled out at the event, but I thought the event was great. So we do things a little different, right? We do our holiday celebration post Christmas, right before New Year's. That's sort of that week between Christmas and New Year's. Oftentimes, as long as there isn't a lot of weather related stuff happening, is a little bit of a down week as we prepare to end one calendar year and start another one. But always a fun event. You get to put everybody in one room and get to share some laughs and break bread with each other, which we don't get the chance to do very often. So that was nice.
No, it was great to see, everyone in the room. I mean, we get to see snapshots of job sites with like a team on one job site or a team on another job site, but we don't get to see that huge snapshot that we did. And, some new team members, catching up with some older team members that I haven't seen in a little bit.
Yeah.
And just to see everybody together was really a cool thing. And then to see some door prizes that people could take home with them and that kind of stuff. I mean, the highlight of my year in general is just giving out the Christmas cards because it's a thank you for the year of service. And I look forward to that every year.
Yeah, for sure. It's always a nice time. And for me, it's especially because my role doesn't get me in the field very often. It's always sort of neat to kind of bring it in house, right? Our guys don't come to the office for a lot of stuff, at least not everybody, and certainly not all at once. So it's sort of fun for me to see it, to bring them all in house, and I forget who I was talking to, but it is a little bit of like an exercise for me because I used to be more involved in the human resources new hiring process, so I would meet everybody at least once. That's not true anymore. So now, it's sometimes a guy's been with us for a couple of weeks. That might be the first time I get to meet him because he hasn't been in the office, et cetera. So I always enjoy that. I'm gonna say hi to everybody. I'm gonna shake everybody's hand. There's gonna be a few people that it might be the first time I've met them because they haven't been with us for very long. So that's always fun for me.
Well, that, and then there's a secondary part to that. Like some of the people you might have met, but if you see them with their hard hat on, or maybe they have a hat on, if it's cold weather, maybe they haven't cleaned their beard in a couple weeks and shaved it tight or something like that, or their hair's long and you just see them in a different light. You're like, oh, yeah, it's the same person. But, we see the names a lot just because of, all the different things we do. But sometimes just connecting faces to names is really beneficial too. be able to say hello and, catch up with them a little bit, and then also send them to enjoy some time off with their loved ones.
Yeah, for sure. So speaking of the new year, you guys have any New Year's personally things that you guys do, or any New Year's traditions with little ones now? Maybe it's changed things
extensively. My wife on New Year's looked at me and goes, "When did we when did we become no fun anymore?" And I was like, "It's 9:30. I'm going to bed."
Yeah, right.
I mean, the ball drops every year, yada yada.
Right,
But no, it's definitely we used to go to the city, have a nice dinner or something like that, and just kind of celebrate a little bit more. Now it's just kind of like a little different transition to how that operates. Maybe you're back into it now that your kids are a little bit older, but I'm like, do they do a ball drop like 8 p.m.? I can like kind of see it, and I'll watch the one in like some other state or country where like the time's different.
Get the early version. Yeah. No, yeah. So we are still not fun. Kids took it out of us. No. We didn't have a lot happening. Yeah, fortunately, our kids were all kind of going different directions, visiting with friends or hanging out and doing different things. And so yeah, Allie and I went out. We grabbed something to eat. We were home pretty early. We ended up. It was funny. I'm not a big. I like college football, but I don't really follow college football. I'm not a big Ohio State or Georgia fan, but I kind of got sucked into that game. Really good game. And we actually technically missed the midnight ball drop because we were watching this game which went right up to midnight. The kids trying to kick what would have been the winning field goal. So it got kind of exciting, and even Allie kind of got like sucked in. And we realized at the last minute here, like, oh geez, like the ball should be dropping, right? Like we didn't even have it on. So the game's on. We're waiting for him to kick this field goal. I try and bring it up on my phone, and like, it's like 12:01, and probably because I'm streaming it on my phone or something like that, we're like, they're still doing the countdown, and we're like, well, Happy New Year. So yeah, very anticlimactic. It happened to be one of like the worst field goal attempts I've ever seen. I think the poor guy, like Allie was like, oh man, like what a terrible way to lose, right? So much pressure on one person, and
they can be the goat or the hero, right? The
kicker. Right. Yeah. So, I mean, it just like he tried to overcook it, like it was a shot. I think he was close to 50 yards or something, but which is long for college for sure. And yeah, it looked terrible. So it would have like emotional, terrible way to lose a game. But yeah.
No, I really feel that New Year's is kind of a young person's game. Maybe that's just because I'm old, but it's, there's certain things in life as you get older that just, so, this is how we literally went out for our nice dinner on Friday night just because we couldn't get a reservation, Saturday or Sunday because of the deal. But yeah, it's just, it's a momentous day in, the calendar changes, but a lot of things still stay the same and keep going forward. But no, back to college football. I never had a big thing for it. I mean, I've gone to some games, and you and I actually got to go to a cool game last year.
Yeah.
Which was really neat because then they won the championship that year and all that kind of stuff. But my brother-in-law got me into it when I go up there, and like Sunday or Saturday, you'd be like, there's, I don't know, ESPN thing, and then you'd watch all day, and then there's like 150 games on. You could be switching between all of them.
Yeah.
And I actually started to like it now. I granted, I'm not going to put my schedule around it, but I would probably say that I almost like watching college football more than the NFL sometimes, just because it's more interesting. They're trying crazy stuff. They're doing, throwing long balls. They're doing a lot of different things because it's a different format. And so when the college football game is on, I'll probably try and tend to watch it even more than I'll watch the NFL nowadays.
Yeah. Yeah. It is fun. I wish I don't have the time to like follow college football really, but I don't really follow many sports, but yeah, I enjoy it.
Yeah, I remember I was talking to someone the other day, and I said, when I was young, there used to be this newspaper just about baseball. It was like, I forget, it was like Baseball Weekly or something like that. I think it was a USA Today product, but it came out, it was just about baseball. And that was my subscription. I literally had a baseball subscription, reading all the scores and like all the articles, and like I could tell you probably every player. And now I do some of the what's the fantasy baseball stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm at the draft, and it's like, I remember this guy's name, but he might be like ready to retire at this point. Like, I don't know all the new guys and like the up and coming guys, except for maybe the ones that you hear about. But like the rest of them, it's like the system says they're good, so I guess I better draft them.
I did fantasy baseball one time, and I was so bad at it. So football is pretty easy.
It's once a week. You got to check your lineup, basically.
Yeah, you check your rosters, you make some adjustments. Yeah, and so I sort of I don't know why, but I sort of anticipated baseball would be the same. But baseball, they play like 5 games a week. Like you're going to play 180 games. You got to play often. So the guys in my league would get so mad at me. They were like, "You haven't changed your pitchers. You haven't adjusted your lineup." And I'm like, "Oh, like I thought that it would just carry over." But yeah, I guess I'm not enough maybe of a baseball aficionado to do fantasy baseball, and it's a much bigger knowledge and time commitment, I think.
Yeah, it definitely was. There's been years when I've paid closer attention to it, and I had a routine where I'd like check them every day at a certain time or whatever it was, and then life got in the way. But for me, fantasy sports is more about the people you're in the league with, and like with some of my fantasy football teams I'm involved in, it's a group of friends. We don't get to talk much.
Right.
And the draft is like the highlight of the whole thing. Like the actual plan, who cares? But, usually you get together or nowadays you do it virtually, but you talk some smack and spend 3-4 hours together and then back to your real worlds. But the actual events of it, it's just more about the community, I guess you'd call it, than anything else.
Yeah, I agree totally. And for me, it actually like maybe keeps me a little in the loop with what's happening in football. So like I can have semi-informed conversations when they're talking about games. And so I agree though. It's mostly about the camaraderie and the chatting about it on the Monday morning or Tuesday morning after the game to like, see what happened, so to speak.
Exactly. No, I mean, I guess we're almost at the playoffs in the NFL anyway. So, I mean, it's coming down to, and that unfortunate thing happened the other night. This is so unique that I wasn't watching it, but all of a sudden I'm getting like text alerts on my phone from different things. I'm like, I don't even know, but they postponed the game for, I hope that he's doing well. But it was I was at a game where someone got carried out in a stretcher. Actually, it was Mike Orvin back when he was in Philly, and Philly got a bad name for that. But it's just, you're watching a game and all of a sudden something traumatic like that happens, and like the whole place just doesn't know what to do with themselves because you're there riled up about a athletic event, and then someone has a incident where they get hurt, and it's like, people in football get hurt a lot, but this is much heavier levels.
Oh my gosh. It was so bizarre to watch. I was watching, and I don't know, maybe we're just desensitized to injuries. Like we sort of, like, oh, guy went down, they're going to go to a commercial break. He's going to walk off. Right. And so like I saw it happen, and it was the weirdest thing. I even said to Allison when it happened, I like, he got hit, and I was like, oh, it looked like he got, and looked like he got hit in the chin to me. And I was like, oh geez, he's going to have a concussion. Right. And he stood up immediately and then fell back down. And I was like, whoa, that was weird. That's not good. And I said to Allison, I was like, he just fell back down. So we saw one of the first replays or whatever. And she's like, oh, that was weird. Cause he, stood right back up and then just sort of like sat down, fell into it kind of thing. And I was like, man, I bet he has a concussion. Right. Cause in my head, I thought the way the hit happened, he kind of like got popped in the chin. And, so I don't know. I'm not that super invested. It's sort of just on, and I don't really realize it. But Gavin comes back into the room, and he's like, "They're not playing." And I was like, "No, he got injured. They're looking at it." And Gavin's like, "That was 40 minutes ago," and I was like, "Oh, geez." And then I started to realize like the severity of the problem. And yeah, wow, what a scary moment for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. They haven't even talked about, like what they're going to do about the scenario. They're getting down to the wire here. It's not like week 2 where they can fit something in. So
running out of weeks here. So.
Yeah, I saw something today. I guess he's still in the hospital, and at least he's getting good medical care, and hopefully he rebounds from it. But
yeah,
I mean, it's interesting having this conversation because we're not involved. It's not someone we know or anything,
No.
but it's just like it's on the national platform, so it affects everybody.
Yeah, for sure. So,
but good way to say Happy New Year, right?
Yeah, well, I don't know how we got to where we're at here.
Wait, we jumped off the tracks. Even Dan's not here. We still jumped off the tracks.
We started talking about Happy New Year. We got back to Happy New Year at one point, and now we're just off the rail totally. So that's a good place to wrap it up, though. Happy New Year, folks. We hope you had a great holiday, safe and healthy.
Let's go 2023.
Here we go, 2023. We'll catch you again soon. Thanks.